In the middle of a quiet desert road, a hard-working woman stops to help a wealthy stranger with a broken car. She has no idea he is a millionaire, and he has no idea the ring on her finger is not what he thinks it is. What happens next changes both their lives forever. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to USA Drama 2.0 for more inspiring stories. The desert road stretched endlessly, glowing under the warm afternoon sun. The sky looked soft, and the mountains stood tall, like patient guardians watching over the empty landscape. Layla Bennett guided her old SUV down the winding path, humming softly as the wind brushed past her windows. Layla worked as a traveling field inspector for rural properties, small cabins, rental lots, and vacation homes located far away from the city. She knew these roads well. She often worked with HOAs in small communities scattered across the region, ensuring that land use remained compliant and that residents received fair treatment. Her reputation was clear. She was strong, humble, and known for helping anyone who needed it. She was on her way back from an assignment when she noticed something unusual. A luxury black sedan sat parked awkwardly on the side of the road, hood up, hazard lights blinking faintly. It was out of place, far too refined a vehicle for a road most people avoided. Standing beside it was a man in a crisp jacket, looking at the engine with the expression of someone facing a puzzle he did not understand. Layla slowed down. She didn't know who he was. She didn't know his story. But she knew one thing for sure: everyone eventually needs help. She pulled her SUV over, stepped out, and called, "Everything all right?" The man looked up, surprised. His expression, though polite, carried a touch of relief. "No," he said honestly. "My car's stalled, and I can't figure out why. My phone battery died, and there's no signal here anyway." Layla gave a warm nod. "Let me take a look." He blinked. "You know your way around cars." She smiled as she rolled up her sleeves. "Enough to get someone home." The man introduced himself simply as Daniel. He didn't offer a last name, and Layla didn't ask. She believed in respecting boundaries. Daniel watched as she inspected the engine with calm expertise. Layla moved confidently, checking connections, wires, and the battery with practiced hands. "I think your alternator belt slipped," she said after a few minutes. "Lucky for you, I carry tools." Daniel stared, impressed. "Wow, I usually call for roadside service." Layla laughed lightly. "Out here, that might take a whole day." He looked around the vast empty landscape. "I'm realizing that now." Daniel stood quietly, observing her. There was something steady and composed about Layla. Her presence carried a sense of capability he rarely encountered. His eyes drifted to the ring on her finger, a simple silver band. He didn't comment, but it caught his attention. What Layla didn't know was that Daniel Hartman was not just wealthy, he was one of the most influential property investors in the country. His company built eco-friendly resorts and revitalized abandoned communities. He had meetings lined up with several rural HOAs about new sustainable housing plans. He had come to this remote area to inspect a large stretch of land bordering an HOA community that had been struggling with disputes. His goal was to see whether redevelopment could help the residents. But he had insisted on traveling alone, wanting to understand the land personally. Now, the land had humbled him. As Layla tightened a bolt, Daniel asked, "Do you work nearby?" "Kind of," she replied. "I work with property inspections. HOAs call me when they need someone to check on maintenance compliance or boundary conditions. Sometimes private owners call me directly." Daniel looked impressed. "So you really know this world?" "I try to," she said modestly. Daniel had seen many professionals who worked around HOAs, property management, or legal reviews, but Layla was different. She knew the terrain, the people, and the pressures residents faced. She was grounded, sharp, and sincere. After fixing the alternator belt and tightening everything into place, Layla started the engine. The sedan hummed smoothly. Daniel's relief was visible. "You saved me," he said. "Really?" She wiped her hands. "Just happy to help." He hesitated for a moment, then said, "Your husband must appreciate how capable you are." Layla blinked. "My husband," he pointed to the ring. She laughed, shaking her head. "Oh, it's not a marriage ring. It belonged to my late grandmother. I wear it for comfort." Daniel's posture shifted slightly. His assumptions dissolved. "I see," he said softly. He didn't say more, but something unspoken passed between them: curiosity, respect, admiration. Daniel insisted on buying Layla lunches thanks, but she declined. She didn't do things for reward. Instead, he asked, "Would you mind showing me the nearest small town?" I need to recharge my phone and get some supplies. Layla agreed, and Daniel followed her SUV down the desert road to a nearby community. What Daniel expected to be a simple stop turned into something else entirely. At the cafe, residents recognized Layla immediately. "Layla, we were waiting for you," said the cafe owner. "The WAS sent word. They need help settling a boundary concern on the north side." Daniel looked at her with growing surprise. "You're well known here," she shrugged. "I try to solve problems fairly. HOAs can be challenging. People want peace, not stress." Daniel absorbed every word. She handled people with grace. She navigated tension with professionalism. He admired her more by the minute. Daniel asked if he could accompany her to the WA meeting. Layla agreed. The WA board gathered in a small community center. Tension filled the room as two neighbors argued over a boundary line affecting shared parking space. Layla approached the situation calmly. She reviewed documents, walked the lot with a measuring wheel, and spoke to each neighbor privately. Daniel watched, fascinated. She diffused disagreements that had simmered for months, simply by being honest and respectful. After the review, she presented her conclusion clearly. The original line is intact, and both sides have equal access. We can adjust the markers slightly to avoid confusion, but neither party loses anything. Both neighbors accepted her solution with surprising ease. Daniel whispered, "You just saved the whole community an issue." She shrugged, "It's what people hire me for." But Daniel was thinking something else. He had found someone whose insight could transform his next big project. After the meeting, Daniel stood outside with her. "Layla," he said, "I want to hire you." She stared. "For what?" "For my company. I'm building a new initiative that focuses on fair housing development, WA collaboration, and community transparency. You understand these challenges from the inside. I need someone with your knowledge." Layla was stunned. "I don't know if I'm qualified for something so big." "You are," he said firmly. "You're exactly what these communities need, and what my company needs. But you don't even know me." Daniel smiled. "I know enough. You didn't hesitate to help me. You solve problems without taking sides. You speak with integrity. That's rare." Layla didn't respond immediately. Her heart raced, not from excitement, but from disbelief. "Let me think about it," she said at last. "Of course," Daniel replied. As they walked back to her SUV, Daniel hesitated. "Layla, earlier, I made an assumption about your ring. I'm glad I was wrong. And I'm glad I met you." Layla looked at him, noticing the sincerity in his expression. "I'm glad too," she said warmly. For a moment, the desert breeze carried something gentle between them, possibility. The next week, Daniel prepared for a major WA summit where his company would negotiate redevelopment plans across several rural zones. Encouraged by their meeting, Layla agreed to join as a consultant. At the summit, WA leaders from across the region attended. Daniel introduced Layla to everyone, describing her expertise and reliability. She handled discussions with confidence, earning respect instantly. During a break, one WA director whispered to Daniel, "Where did you find her?" "She's remarkable," Daniel smiled. "On a desert road." The director laughed, thinking it was a joke. Daniel didn't correct him. Over the next few months, Layla's work transformed several communities. She resolved disputes, removed outdated restrictions, and helped HOAs become more transparent and fair. Daniel watched her impact closely, not from a distance but by her side. Their partnership deepened into trust. Trust deepened into admiration, and admiration quietly grew into something more gentle, something neither of them rushed. One evening, after a long review session, Daniel asked Layla to walk with him outside their project site. The sun dipped behind the hills, painting the sky in colors that felt like a blessing. "I want to show you something," he said. He opened the box, a beautifully crafted silver ring, inspired by her grandmother's. "It's not a marriage proposal," he clarified softly. "Not yet, it's an offer." Layla looked up, eyes bright. "A partnership ring," he explained, "a symbol of the communities we're building." Together, she accepted it with a smile. The ring that once represented comfort from her past now connected her to her future. Several months later, Daniel asked her to accompany him to the same desert road where they first met. They stood beside the spot where his car had broken down. "You changed my life here," he said. "And I want to ask something important." Layla's heart raced. "Will you stay on this journey with me? Not just as a consultant, not just as a partner in projects, but as someone I can trust in every part of my life?" She nodded, unable to hold back a smile. "Yes," she said simply. "I will." Daniel exhaled, relieved. The desert had witnessed something rare, two paths crossing in pure coincidence, becoming one direction. Lila's expertise continued shaping HOAs across the region. Communities functioned better, neighbors cooperated more, stress decreased, transparency increased, and Daniel, he remained grateful every day for the moment his car stalled. They built systems that gave people dignity. They built communities that thrived. And in every meeting, every site visit, every road traveled together, Daniel remembered the woman who helped him without expecting anything. The ring he once misunderstood became the symbol of a life transformed. And the desert road that brought them together remained their reminder. Sometimes, help appears exactly when needed and changes everything.